Okay, LBHT crew, we are here with a pop-up video. So something must have gone on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lamar got signed? No? Oh, no.
No,
Okay. Well,
you
no.
traded for Mike Evans.
No?
No,
No?
okay.
Okay. No, no.
John Harbaugh's fired.
Ooh, no, no,
No,
no,
not that
no,
either. Okay.
no. Well,
More games about why they won't pay your quarterback.
ding, ding, ding,
Oh,
ding.
okay, there we go.
Yes, that's the one. You nailed it. You nailed it. Well, I guess we touched on it a little bit on our Wednesday show about, the reports that are coming out in terms of what Lamar was offered and well, not what was offered, what he was asking for.
Mhm.
And Jeremy Fowler, I think it was for ESPN. And I think with John Schaefer or one of them.
Brandon Schaefer was part of the reporting as well. Yeah.
Yeah, all saying that Lamar wanted 230 mil guaranteed, fully guaranteed, like Deshaun Watson got. And our response was, "What's the problem?" Right? If he wants it, you give it to him, because they keep using this Deshaun Watson contract like it's some great outlier that's never going to happen. But it's going to happen much sooner than people realize. In fact, it might happen this year with some of these other quarterbacks that are coming up for contract. So if that's what your guy wants, you pay it to him, right? But today, there was another report from one Stephen A. Smith. Yes, that guy right there. He looks so happy to bring Ravens fans bad news, right? He said that he talked to Lamar's people. He talked to them, and they gave him the real scoop. What's the real scoop, B?
Well, he said that Lamar's camp reached out to him personally and told him that one, they had never asked for a fully guaranteed contract, and two,
What?
that the Ravens haven't gone beyond the $133 million guarantee that was leaked out previously. Now,
What?
that's just the guarantee at signing. Lamar himself said the total guarantees in that offer were between 160 and 180 million, which is still very low, considering who Lamar Jackson is. That the best case scenario there for Baltimore is that it would be 9 million short of what Kyler Murray got earlier this year, and or last year, I guess now, and Kyler is not anywhere near the quarterback that Lamar Jackson is.
No.
But this has kind of been a back and forth point in social media and fans talking, and even in the media. What Lamar wants, because Lamar hasn't publicly said anything, and the assumption has just been out there that he wants a fully guaranteed contract, because the Baltimore Ravens have not been willing to match whatever his demands have been.
Yeah. So I want to discuss this whole outlier thing, right? Because they're saying, "Oh, his contract is an outlier." His contract, talking about Deshaun Watson, his contract isn't the outlier. Him being available is the outlier.
Mm-hmm.
The caliber of players like Deshaun Watson, caliber of players like Lamar Jackson, do not become available. And when they do become available and hit the open market, you find out exactly what they're worth. Deshaun Watson got exactly what he was worth.
And it's a joke to call it an outlier anyway, because he didn't get that much more guaranteed than Kyler Murray got. He got 41 million more guaranteed than Kyler Murray over the course of, I believe Murray's deal was 5 years as well. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a huge difference. The outlier portion of the Deshaun Watson contract is that it's fully guaranteed, and people pretending that that's the first time it's ever happened, even though it happened for Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, just on a shorter deal. But yeah, like you said, 230 million. That guaranteed number is going to get eclipsed very, very soon. You have Jalen Hurts coming up for contract. You have Joe Burrow. You have Justin Herbert. You have Lamar Jackson. And then, a couple of years away from Trevor Lawrence. So that's 5 young quarterbacks, young franchise quarterbacks, who are all going to be signing brand new deals, within the next couple of years. $230 million is going to look like a bargain.
Yeah. Now, some people have pointed out the hypocrisy of ESPN, and that is completely fair, right? They've reported a bunch of different numbers. Not just them. Like I said, there's been some local reporting too on some different numbers. And look, whichever one you believe, right? You know, absolutely, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But whichever one you believe, is still too low, right? Like none of these numbers are saying anything about 200 million guaranteed, right? And if that's what he's looking for, because I think somebody had reported that that's the number that he is actually looking for, 200 million guaranteed. How can you argue that when Kyler Murray got 189 million guaranteed? The fact that you offer him that, the fact that you offered him less than Kyler Murray is complete disrespect.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like all this leads to is what we've been saying for the past couple of years, which is that the Baltimore Ravens do not believe in Lamar Jackson as a passer. They don't believe in him as their franchise quarterback, because if they did, the deal would be done.
Right.
You can't look at Lamar and say, oh, he's holding up negotiations. If he says, again, we don't know what the number is, but whatever his number is, he's like, hey, I want X guaranteed dollars in my contract, and you don't offer that, why should he accept the offers that you made? If you go to your boss and you say, hey, I want $100,000 a year to take this position or take this promotion or whatever it is, and they say we'll give you 70, are you going to take it? And then they come back and say, hey, well, you know what, we thought about it, we'll give you 75, we'll give you 80. Of course you're not going to take it. It's nowhere near what you're asking for.
And especially when you can get that 100,000.
Right. When there are 31 other places where you can go and get that the money that you're looking for. The Baltimore Ravens are the ones who decide when these negotiations end. Lamar has a number in mind. He is a free agent. He's not under any obligation to sign with the Baltimore Ravens. They have to decide if they want to pay him what he's asking for or not. So it's a very simple question. Do you think Lamar's worth what he's asking for, or do you think he's not worth what he's asking for? If he's not worth it, franchise him, trade him, move on. If he is worth it, pay him what he's asking for and put an end to this 2-year-long saga that your fans have been going through.
Yeah, and I just want to address too, for the people out there that are kind of playing the both sides thing, right? Oh, well, nobody's to blame, or both sides are to blame, or I don't know who to believe, and all this. You don't believe the organization, right? Because they're the ones that are feeding this nonsense. I'll tell you exactly what the Ravens are doing. The Ravens, like B said, don't believe in Lamar Jackson. They do not want to pay him this. They're okay with him leaving, but they're too scared to tell you because they understand the value Lamar brings to this franchise in terms of the fan base. And I mean, they should understand that in terms of wins, but they just don't value winning like you think they do. Yeah. Right? They're okay. We're hitting the reset button and building the team the way that they want it built without Lamar Jackson, and they're okay with taking their lumps. But they know that you're not okay with that. So they're trying to paint this picture of Lamar being too difficult to work with. Meanwhile, they're not offering him nearly enough money to even bring him to the table. So I wouldn't answer my phone either if I were him. And that's not true also, right? They can easily get in touch with him if they're willing to talk to him seriously. They don't want to do it. So don't let this organization fool you. The ones that are fooled, wake up. They just don't want to keep them. And they're just too cowardly to tell you that.
Yeah. And like I said, we pointed out before, you're saying he's not answering the phone to talk to you about the contract negotiations, but then you said he's involved in the offensive coordinator process.
Yes, right? and Stephen A. also said that was a lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, not he didn't say totally that was a lie. He said that he didn't have any input on Todd Monken, that they just basically told him, hey, this is your new offensive coordinator. But I mean, maybe he had some input prior to that or whatever.
Maybe, yes.
But the point is, you've been in touch with him. You're telling people that you've been in touch with him. You're saying he's part of the process, but you can't get a hold of him to talk about his contract. Maybe it's because you keep offering him $133 million guaranteed, and it's a joke and it's an insult, and he knows it. He doesn't want to talk to you about it.
I mean, if that's true, if that's what they offered him last offseason, and the number hasn't changed, even though the cap went up,
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're essentially not picking up the phone, right? Like you didn't change anything. Still the same offer. You want to talk? No.
And listen, Lamar's not the only good quarterback in the NFL. You know, he's not the only talented player in the history of football.
Right.
You can move on from Lamar Jackson and still win. You can go and get you can go get CJ Stroud if you like CJ Stroud. You can go sign Derek Carr, whoever it is, and rebuild the team around them and go and win games and forget that Lamar ever played for Baltimore. But like you said, don't sit here and try to paint Lamar as the bad guy for having a number and wanting to stick to it. That's how you do business, right? You have a right player, right price mentality. And so even when players like CJ Mosley beg to come back, you won't do it because not the right price.
Yeah.
So he's doing business the way that you do business. Don't try and paint him as the bad guy for sticking to his contract demands. Just say, okay, well, you know what? We're not willing to meet that number. So we'll send you wherever you want to go and wish you success elsewhere. No hard feelings.
This is why I said that EDC is in an impossible situation and he needs to quit. He needs to step down, say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this because, all right, let's say for a minute that EDC is on board with giving Lamar exactly what he wants, but it's on Bishotti and Bishotti says no, whatever. Right. He won't survive a rebuild. Okay. No. Because what's going to happen, yes, you're absolutely right. They can, he's not going to just doom the franchise, forever. Yes, any team can rebuild and come back. Especially with the picks that they get in return for him. Yeah, they can go and get another good quarterback. They can build a competitive team, but they won't build a competitive team faster than Lamar goes out and becomes successful. Yeah. That's what they're afraid of. Because next year, Lamar goes to a team that'll be in a hunt for a Super Bowl, and we won't be a playoff team. Mm-hmm. And that won't keep EDC's job, right? So I can't sign Lamar, but I'm in danger of losing my job if I don't sign Lamar. I would quit, right? Because he can get another job somewhere else. Like we said on the show, his reputation is still intact for now. But once Lamar leaves the building, his reputation will be shot real quick because now you have to start making the right decisions. He doesn't draft well from what we've seen, right? He hasn't been making great free agency moves. Now he's going to have to turn around and do all the stuff in one season to show that they can turn around quick from Lamar. And if they don't, he won't survive that. John Harbaugh won't survive that either.
And ultimately, maybe that's what's best for the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. Kind of a slap in the face to wake up and realize that the way you do things is not going to win you games in the playoffs, and that you need an entire organizational shift to get in line with modern football.
All right. Well, that was short and sweet. Look, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. Also hit that like button on your way out. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support the show even more, patreon.com/LBHTShow is how you do it. All right. We got 3 wonderful tiers. All the tiers will get you access to our Discord where you can continue this conversation like I know you want to. So go ahead, patreon.com/LBHTShow. If you have at least $3 in your pocket, go ahead and hook it up. Peace.